I was walking around Singapore Chinatown in the morning after my gym, and I discovered an old man sleeping, and I took a photo. We're gonna sketch him today. We will talk through the process of drawing the man sleeping, but as you can see, I do a broad outline of the figure, broad outline is always easier, and even in this case, I kind of got the proportion wrong. As you can see, the head is a little bit bigger than it should be, and relatively to the body, that's a mistake we'll try to fix later, and we'll talk through that as well. Once the broad outline is done, the macro picture, the big shape, I go in and I start putting in the details around the collars, the fingers, the pants, the details of the chairs, the eyes, the ears, and so on and so forth, and the slippers and the shoes or whatever it is that he has there, and some background details as well. So as you can see, it's easier to draw background big to small, not small to big. Now I'm just going to drop in background colors. The intention here really is just to keep it loose and keep it as soft and fuzzy as much as possible, with details that are not obvious, ambiguous edges at the back, splattering as much as I can get away with, and then tilting it and getting excess water away. I will come back and soften the edges a little bit more later, but for now, tilting the sketchbook a little bit to allow the water to run downward using gravity. Again, some more background colors, the floor if you like. I kind of paint around it in a very loose and easy way. Wait for it to dry a little bit before I put in the next layer. Here I'm going in with a light wash of the pants, careful to leave some highlights so that there will be a feeling of light, luminosity, spreading through the sketch itself. So that's quite important. I'm going in to put darker shape to sort of negatively around the figure. As you can see, I made some mistakes with the chair. We'll come and fix that too later on. While unfortunately the back is still a bit wet, there's a bit of a fuzzy sort of diffused watercolor happening. But you know what? Don't ever fret or fuss about some of these mistakes. In fact, some of those mistakes are beautiful, because exactly that's why you use watercolor. It's to be welcome, it's to be embraced, and mistakes are part of life. As you can see, it's becoming obvious that the head is a little bit bigger than it should be, but we'll try to fix that later, and we'll see how we can do that. I'm going in with the first wash of the shirts, careful to sort of make sure it's not too dark. I want to make sure that there's a bit of a light as well. He's wearing a mask in some ways. I put in a bit of a cobalt blue. Again, I put in a very light wash of cobalt blue on the feet, and then dropping in a combination of Naples yellow with quinacridone rose. That gives you a very nice flash tone. I will do probably a separate video on how to do flash tone another time. Again, I dropped in some shadow color for the t-shirts, for the shirt, some darker color on underneath, shadow underneath the collar, darken some of the skin tone as well. Those are all part of the observation I'm seeing from the photograph, and I'm just basically putting in some of the shadows as I see, and dropping in as I see fit. As you can see, I'm leaving some of the highlight on the face, on the feet, as well as on some of the pants. And because the background has already been darkened by maybe 1 or 2 shape point out of a 5-point scale, the highlight kind of show through. I'm softening the edges of the background, as you can see, just to take away the hard edge, because the hard edge itself really will create a kind of focus point that you don't really want attention on. So here I am putting a bit more details on the background, some kind of decoration, and darken some of the chairs, putting a bit of lines and putting in darker on the shadowy side of the feet and the chair itself, darken some of the shadows underneath the feet and various sort of shadows if you like. So this is like multi-layers overall, using a sort of a combination of purple, and that would serve as darkening if you like. I'm now desperately trying to shrink the head if you like, in a way that I'm just controlling the shapes surrounding the figure. So I try to fix the mistake of the chair by washing away the mistake in some way. Okay, so here's the real tip for the day. I use a pen. I'm going over the painting or the sketch. I am desperately shrinking the head. And by overwriting and drawing a bit more, enlarging the body somewhat, shrinking the head somewhat, I didn't quite manage to fix the proportion of the head against the body, but it is much better than it would have been otherwise. And by doing so, you can see that I've shrunk the head a little bit more, and as far as I can get away with. So that's the tip. Always do not abandon your sketch. You may finish it, and you can always evaluate, adjust, and try to fix it with whatever technique that you can think of. In this case, I'm using a pen to overwrite my mistakes. Finally, I remember now there is a mask that he was kinda dropping down below his chin. And so that's it. I hope this video helped you in some way, or at least you enjoy it. It was a easy and relaxing sort of watercolor if you like. So peace wherever you are in the world.
Yeah.